Hello, everybody. Welcome back. All righty. After a much long break, I am back, you guys, back with another installment of the 90-Day No Talk Experiment. We are back out here in these streets going over my book that I wrote. And tonight is a really special one. Tonight, we're talking about Kingdom Connections. So, you guys chime in. Let me know where you're chiming in from. Do a favor, like the video, share, subscribe, follow. Do whatever you do on whatever platform you're on. It is such an honor and a privilege to come and hang out with you all. Well, we're going to jump right in because I've missed several nights, missed like a week, and I didn't intentionally do that, but I had some family at home from out of town, and I wanted to make sure that I was available for that particular family. So they've left. All is well. We are back. Okay. Today is day 53. So again, remember, we're going down from 90. We're now at day 53, and we're going to be talking about kingdom connections, right? I think it is an innate part of us as humans to want to connect with each other, to want to connect with other people. We need other people. Yesterday in my Titus 2 women's group, we were talking about the fact that we can't do this life alone. We can do life alone, but it's so what do I want to say? It limits us when we do life alone. We don't have anybody to discuss anything with. We don't have anybody to hash it out with. We don't have anybody praying for us, anybody supporting us. And we're just an independent island unto ourselves. None of us are an island unto ourselves. We need people. And so the same can be said for a kingdom connection, right? And this is where relationships are where we're talking about relationships. And I was the one who I told the Lord, I said, God, I don't want to okay, I don't have time for that. I don't want to talk about relationships, and I don't want to talk about my past. I don't want those to be my platforms. And what has become my platform, relationships and my past. It is so crazy how the Lord will listen to us say what we don't want, and then he ultimately gets what he wants anyway, right? So here I am talking about relationships. So a connection, and I put this as Kingdom Connections, K with connections with a K. Connection is a relationship in which a person, thing, or idea is linked or associated with something else. Similar to a connection is a link, a relationship, a relation, relatedness, or interrelatedness. And then go to relationship, the way in which two or more concepts, objects, or people are connected, or the state of being connected, right? So I want to be connected with someone who is connected to the kingdom. Now, most people in my sphere of influence or my circle would think that I wanted to be married to a pastor. That's not necessarily so. The Lord did not tell me that my husband was a pastor. He just said, Shakima, you'll be in your ministry and he'll be in his ministry. And I have had to take God at face value, and that's what he meant, right? I remember hearing one of the guys from Duck Dynasty. I swear I don't know which guy it was, but if you've ever heard of Duck Dynasty, you'll know what I'm talking. You'll know the guys that I'm talking about. It's one of those sons. And he said he was telling a story. I think he was doing a segment on I Am Second. And he was telling a story before he got married. He, I guess, joined online dating or something of that nature. He was going on a date with this woman. And he said he got ready for the date. He wasn't fancy or anything, just wore whatever he was going to wear. He gets to the date and he tells the lady, he sits down with her. He said, listen, he said, we probably don't have anything in common. He said, but as long as we have the Lord in common, that's all that's important to me. And he said that lady got up and left. I said, oh my gosh. This is how people are doing you. And he said, well, listen, okay, that was her choice. So he said he went on another date. And on this next date, he said the same thing. He said, listen, we probably don't have anything in common, but as long as we have the Lord in common, then that's all that matters to me. And he ends up marrying that woman, right? I'm not concerned with what you have. I'm not concerned with where you work. I'm not concerned with how much money you make. I have a job. I work where I work and I bring in my own paycheck, if that makes sense. Now, I'm not saying that I don't need my spouse's all of that. I'm just saying that has no bearing on anything where I'm concerned. I'm not a gifts person. I don't particularly care about name brands. I can go to the thrift store and find just as many name brands as people can who buy them in the regular store, and I can pay a quarter of the price, less than that, probably a tenth of the price, because I just know what I'm looking for and I know how to save my coins. So none of that is important to me. What is important to me is the soul of who you are, the heart of who you are. I was just on the phone having a conversation with a friend of mine, and the first thing they said was, tell me about church. How was the service? What did y'all talk about? See, come at me with that. Like, be interested in what I'm learning for my spiritual growth. That's where I am. And those are the types of relationships that I desire to have in my life. You can have anything in your life that you want, but you're going to get the consequences that are associated with the thing you pick and choose. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Okay, very good. I wrote this in my book because I thought it was very good. It said, far too often we fail to see the significance of the relationships in our lives. Sometimes we just have people that want to be a part of our life for who we are. There's a lady on here. I'm going to get her name wrong. She's on all the social platforms. I think her name is Friends with Trend or Trend Friends or something like that. I don't know her specifically. I don't follow her, but I heard her say something in one of these little clips. She said people were trying to be friends with her to get close to the person she was close to. So it wasn't even like they were trying to be friends with her. They just knew that she was and they're in the ministry. So there was I think the lady is an apostle. I don't want to get it wrong, but there's a lady that was I don't know if she's an assistant to this lady or whatever their relationship was. People were just trying to attach to her because she was attached to this other person, and they were trying to find an inroad. You don't even want to attach to me for me. You trying to just bypass me to get to who you're trying to get to. And there are people who will do that. There are people who just want to pull on your gifting. They only want to be friends. I mean, look at MC Hammer, honey. When he was can't touch this and he was dancing around the stage, he had all them friends. And as soon as the money dried up and all the stuff was gone, where was them friends at now? Right? He was back to being his regular name instead of MC Hammer, right? So think about that. We fail to see the significance of the relationships in our lives, right? And in truth, if we really desire a relationship with a person or with people, because it doesn't necessarily have to be man-woman love. It could be, I want to be in this specific friend group. I want to be in the in clique. I want to be in this, we want to be where we want to be with who we want to be. We ignore every single red flag that presents themselves to us. We ignore every single thing about that individual, every single thing about those people, every single thing about every interaction that we have together, because I still want to be in with them. So I'm going to ignore totally all of the things that they do not do, do not say, do not put forth. There's no effort here. I'm the one doing all the chasing. I'm the one who's doing all the calling. I'm the one who's doing all the paying. I'm the one, everything is on my dime. They only show up when it's time to go out somewhere. It's that person who leeches on, right? But we ignore it because we see the value in being a part of that, even if it devalues who we are. And if we think about it, that's not what God has planned for us. There's never any time in the kingdom or in God's eyes that I should bring myself down lower. I should be less valued when I'm with people than I am when I'm with Him. I want people who value me at the same measure that God values me. Does that make sense? I'm not saying that they're going to value me perfectly. God does that. But you value me just as high as He does. He places me here and you place me here. Those are the types of connections that I want in my life. The truth of all truths is we want what we want when we want it, and we decide to deal with those consequences much later, or those choices much later. I know this person is no good for me. It's like these toxic relationships. We're in a toxic relationship. I know it's not good for me, but it makes me feel good in the moment. It's almost like having an addiction to something. I know this isn't good for my body, but it makes me feel good in this moment. Food, anything, whatever your choice of thing is. And so let me just get this for this momentary feeling that it's going to give me, and I'm going to deal with those consequences later. See, I'm going to deal with the consequences of this man not wanting me, but I'm going to give him my body because it's going to make him come back again. Well, only for your body. He's not coming for your mind. He's not coming for what you can really do for him. He's only coming for what you can do for him in that moment. You understand? Okay, very good. All right. So we're going to deal with those choices later. And then a lot of times we're in a situation where I've given my body away to somebody and now I'm left cleaning or holding the bag, right? I got the kid, I got the disease, I got the broken heart when he goes back to his wife. I got all the stuff. He ain't got nothing. He was rocking while he was rocking, but next thing you know, soon as the baby comes, oh, it ain't mine. Wait a minute, what? How? Make it make sense to me. Because clearly it doesn't make sense to me. It makes sense in your brain, but I don't understand because we was rocking together as long as we was rocking together. But you knew this before because they had showed you. The late Dr. Maya Angelou says, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. And I just added this in the first time. Believe them the first time. Now, Shakima, you acting like you haven't ever had no red flags. No, I'm not. I have had them. And guess what I did? The same thing as everybody else. I just ignored them because I wanted what I wanted when I wanted it. I wanted that person. I wanted that situation. I wanted this group. I wanted to be a part of it. And I was going to deal with them consequences later. But can I tell you, it left me so raw, so raggedy. It left me all the things that I didn't want to be. And I've had to deal with those consequences later to the point where I said, you know what? They won't get me again. You will not catch Shakima outside, not again. Oh, no, you will not. Usually after our feelings have become involved and are or hurt beyond repair, in all of it, I thank God for Jesus, his grace and mercy towards us, for without it, we would be totally undone. And what that means, undone means to unfasten, untie, to loosen, or we would fall apart. If it were not for the mercy of God, if it were not for his kindness and his love and his generousness towards us in our stupidity, in our bad choices, in our wrong choices made, we would be undone. We would 100% every single time be undone, but he is gracious and he is kind to keep us. Does that mean we're not going to have a fallout or some consequences to deal with those poor choices? Absolutely not. You're going to have to deal with that. Every decision we make is going to have a consequence attached to it. And the ones who are going to pay the consequence are us. And typically, especially when you have people that are using you for their purpose, as soon as those consequences show up, they out. So you better think about this. Do I want the consequences because you're getting them? And do I want to deal with the consequences on my own? Because that is probably going to be 99% of your what it is every time. You're going to deal with that all by yourself. Now, anyone who knows me, this is not changed. I'm 16 years out from a separation and a divorce. Is not changed. Anybody who knows me knows that I desire marriage with my whole heart. Everything in me, everything about me, everything on the inward parts of me says I should be married. Why? Because I believe that the Lord has marriage for me. I believe it's a part of why he has me here on earth. And so I'm going with that. Nobody can change my mind. Nobody can make me not want to be married. People say to me, well, Shakima, you don't need a husband. You're doing fine. Who are you? Are you God? Did you die and become Jesus? Or as my grandma would say, who died and left you, boss? When? How you going to tell me what the Lord didn't say to me? I've had people say this to me. You don't need a man. You're doing fine by yourself. I am doing excellent by myself, but that's not the part that God told me. God said, you'll be here. He'll be here. When y'all get together, it's going to be a thing. That's what the Lord said to Shakima. And guess what? I'm going to walk in that. I believe that is what God has for me. No, not the only thing, but I do believe that I'm destined to be the wife of one husband. I believe that. So imagine the sheer delight. Y'all, this was about, let me see. We're in 2005, 2020. So 5 years ago, sheer delight. I met a man. I believed this guy was going to be my husband. I did. I believed that thing, y'all. You couldn't have told me any different. This was going to be my husband. Oh, my heart was just pitter-pattering all over the place. I was seeing roses. I was just singing. I am tiptoeing through the tulips because this is the person. Oh, I know it can. I believe the comment says that marriage can be beautiful and blessed. I plan to have all of that. Everything that God said to me about my marriage, I plan to have it. I plan to have it. I plan to walk in it. I plan to nurture my husband. I plan to nurture our relationship. I plan to esteem nobody else higher than my husband. That is my heart towards him, even now. And I don't even know who he is. I'm telling you. And I've been in this posture for a very long time. And I gave away some of that care to this person because I thought this is him. So I was just acting like, oh, this is my husband. And I'm ashamed to say that my heart was turned towards a person that it wasn't him, right? It wasn't him. And so my heart saying, when I met him for the very first time, this is the truth, y'all. I met him and we met in a public place because we met online. I was doing online dating back then. Whew, child. It's real out here. So I had met him in a public place, and the moment we met, I was walking towards him. He was walking towards me because we were meeting for the first time, and I felt like I was home. That's the only way that I could explain it. He felt like home to me. He had that distinguished gentleman swag. He had he was a man's man. He walked on the outside part of the street. Everything about him was just so manly. And I felt like he was going to take care of me, if that makes any sense. Probably not, but that's how I felt. He was consistent in the beginning, right? And it took me to get to the after the beginning part to realize something is quite wrong here. But it was that red flag that I was not trying to see. It's waving just as hard as it can wave in my face. And I'm like, nope, I'm ignoring that because I know what I want. I want what I want when I want it. It doesn't matter. I prayed and God sent this person. Can I tell you, God did not send them. The enemy knows what you want too, and he'll send somebody just as well. Y'all like the video, share the video. Thank you so much. God bless you. I appreciate that so very much. He was consistent in the beginning. He called and he pursued me like he really wanted me. And it hurt my feelings. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. It hurt my feelings so very much to find out he didn't want me. He wanted parts of me that I wasn't willing to part with. If that makes any sense. Y'all read between the lines, okay? He wanted parts of me that I wasn't willing to part with. See, everything about me belongs to my husband, even though I don't know who that person is. Every single thing. And I was derelict in my responsibility of guarding that because I gave him parts of my emotions that I should not have given. But I thought he was the one. Thank you for the shares. Everybody that's hit the hearts and the likes, I appreciate that. And the shares help to get us out in the algorithm. He wanted parts of me that I couldn't give away. Now, I was smart enough to realize that part. No, Shakima, don't fall down this trap. That is not the right road to go on, sis. Right. But I wanted him because I thought he was the one. I've been praying all these many years and nobody's shown up. And all of a sudden, here he comes. It was a trick and a trap of the enemy. I promise you. God bless you so much. Thank you so much for that. It was a trick and it was a trap of the enemy. Do not think that the enemy will not know what you want because we talk too much. Some of us talk too much. We say too much. We give away too much. And the next thing you know, the enemy has been ear hustling. He has been listening to all the things and he knows exactly how to get us. But again, I would jumped ahead of the story. To me, it seemed like a world with romance and we would be together. In all honesty, and a bit of shame, I admit, it lasted 2 weeks too long. That turned into 6 months. This really should have been over after the second week, because after the second week, he was talking about weekends. Let me know where you want to go for the weekend. Can I tell you that it had not even crossed my mind? Y'all, I probably haven't been in the dating pool so long that things that people are doing these days are just things I never thought about doing. Like, you want to go away for the weekend, like stay in the same room and be together. What a weekend. I feel like Downton Abbey when the Dowager was like, what is the weekend? I mean, I did not have a clue what he was talking about. And I'm grown. And when he found out that I wasn't that type of individual, we're talking about 2 weeks in. 2 weeks in, you talking about a weekend? What? Am I confused? Maybe you confused. Because I don't think that at 2 weeks, we should be talking about going anywhere. I mean, I'm trying to go to eat. I will go meet you and we can go walk out somewhere to a coffee shop. But you want a weekend? Who weekends after 2 weeks? I guess people do. I don't. But by that time, in that 2 week period, this is the truth. I had already invested emotionally into the, because we were talking every day, hours every day. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I don't want to blame it. The comment says that when you're lonely and you're seeking a lasting marriage, there are folks that see that as a weakness and try to pounce. I'm not going to blame it all on that person. I wanted what I wanted. Nobody forced me to have this relationship with this person. I was in it to win it because I thought he was the one, even though I saw the flags. There were some things that just were not right, and it would quickly show itself. But I was trying to be amenable. I was trying to work it out. I was trying to be soft. I was trying to be in my soft girl era when I really should have been lacing up my boots ready to fight, because you was coming at me crazy, sir. I don't even know what you're doing right now. Right? Okay. So it seemed like a whirlwind romance that we would be together. In all honesty, it was 2 weeks too long that stretched into 6 months of wasted time. It was wasted time. It turned into me crying out to the Lord to make him love me, while he began to tear me down for every single thing I did. Can I say this? And I'm saying this: no kingdom connection is going to tear you down. Will a kingdom connection chat with you, help you work some things out to see that there could be flaws? There could be some things that need to be worked on. Absolutely. I'm not saying that kingdom connection is going to let you just be wrong, but that the way they phrase it. But this man was tearing me down brick by brick. It was like, I got to break her. She's independent. She's strong and she knows where she is. And I got to break her because, see, the only way for him to be up here was to break me down and put me here. I wasn't good enough. I didn't work hard enough. I wasn't poor enough. He had a complex of rescue people. He needed to be the rescuer. And I didn't need rescuing. He needed to save, and Jesus had already saved me. And so I was a problem for him, just like I'm probably a problem for hell, because you trying to be out here trying to save me. Don't try to save me. I'm not. Jesus has saved. I am saved already. I don't need nobody out here trying to fix me. Well, you should do it this way. You should do it that way. But I've been doing this before you showed up. And now that you showed up, all the things I've been doing have been going wrong. Although nothing is lacking, the bills are still getting paid. Everything is happening that should be happening over here. But your opinion matters so much that you got to force yourself on me. As far as telling me what I am not, I don't need that in my life. A kingdom connection is never going to tell you what you aren't. They're going to give you a bird's eye view into the possibilities who you are. Babe, let's dream together. Babe, tell me about this. What are you trying to do for this? Let's walk this road out together. And I couldn't see it because I was at that time lonely. You're right. I was lonely. And I had been alone for about 11 years by then. And it was like, Lord, is it ever going to be my turn? And so because I was in that vulnerable state, and it wasn't that he made me vulnerable, I was vulnerable on my own. There was something I hadn't leaned into the Lord, and I didn't see all that God had put in me to be okay, even if it took 11 more years. I saw interest, and it was like, boom, this must be the person. Can I tell you, there are plenty of people that have been interested, and all of them seem to have been interested in the same thing, which is the part of me that I'm not giving away. That part belongs to my husband. I will not. And what I will not give either are my emotions anymore. That doesn't mean I'm not going to connect with a person. I want to connect with you, but I am not in love. We're going to have to agree to be in love together, because I'm not going to do this on my own. Right? He thought we needed to compete against one another, but I'm not a competitor. Why? Kingdom connections don't compete. Kingdom connections elevate each other. Kingdom connections see what I'm missing, and they add that missing part, and I'll see what they're missing, and I'll add the missing part, because kingdom connections want you to do well. They look at you and they say, hey, I like that presentation, but if you put this right here, or let's rework that. Hey, listen, I love the outfit that you have on, but if we add this, these accessories are a little better than what you got going on. It's always for your benefit, for your good. And they phrase it in such a way that you don't feel bad about yourself. Listen, I was doing the very best I could. You were doing great, and it's amazing. And I love what you put together, but let me just suggest this. And they give you the open option to choose what they suggest. And if you don't choose, you aren't any worse than you was to begin with, and they still love you anyway. That's the difference between a kingdom connection and somebody that's out here trying to just tear you down. And when I tell y'all he was tearing me down, it was crazy. I'm like, who are you talking to? What is going on? Have you got me confused with? There are moments when I believe he had got me confused with somebody else. And that's another thing, right? In this world of dating, I hear a lot of people say, well, you got to date a lot of people. You got to have a roster. Somebody told me that very recently. Well, you got to have a roster of people. Here's what I know to be true. If I practice multiplicity in dating, then I will have no problem practicing multiplicity in marriage, right? What is the difference between me seeing how this is going to work out between you and I? And if it doesn't, then I can go to the next person and work it out. I would be totally 159% confused if I'm dating you and him and Jim and Slim and Tim and all y'all in 1 week. I'm gonna get somebody wrong eventually. Then feelings are gonna be hurt, all the things. Well, men do it all the time. That's their business. They don't have nothing to do with me. That is not what God put on my heart. It is, Shakima, you can do this one thing at a time until you find the right person, until the right person that you've been praying for and that has been praying for you come together. You can do it one person at a time. And so he would be talking to me and I would be like, this guy got me confused. And one night he said to me, I told you last night, so and so and so. I said, I don't know who you was talking to last night, but it was not me, because I know for sure it was not me. So whoever it was, I hope that was a great conversation, because it was not me. Yet here I was, even though all of these, again, red flags, I'm begging the Lord. I am begging God to show him who I was and who I could be to him, because I know who I am. I am her. I am that woman. I have practiced Proverbs 31. I have lived Proverbs 31. I have lived Proverbs 31 so well that I've now shifted into Titus 2. And that makes me that woman. And I'm not going to compete with anybody. But what I was doing was I was making myself smaller just to make him seem bigger. He wasn't growing in bigness. I just was making myself smaller, because the only way to be with him was to come under him. Well, that's submission, not when it is in a very toxic relationship. It's not. Natural submission happens when everybody is in agreement on the same things. We know what we're doing. We're in this thing together. I'm pulling, you pulling. I'm not pulling and you pushing. We both going in the same direction. And whoever has the vision from the Lord, then the natural submission is, I'm going to get underneath that vision. And I'm not way down here, but I'm right here with you. I'm pushing you as you go higher. But if I'm pushing you as you go higher and you pulling me as you go higher, guess what? We're both going higher together. That's a kingdom connection. That's the thing that God has called for us, to be with one another. And if that's not the situation that you're in, I would seriously consider and reevaluate where you are at this current moment. Now, for those of you who are married, what I would do is I would definitely seek the Lord on how to get us on the same page. But for those of us who are not, and we're in some type of toxic situation, get out quickly. And guess what? They're not going to want to let you out, and you may not even want to get out. But I promise you, you'll never go where God wants you to go, and you'll never meet that kingdom connection if you stay. I was wrong, right? I thought he was the person, but I was wrong. And how do I know? I'm still single. I'm still single. He left me for his ex-wife, who when we first started dating, he told me she tried to take all of his money. She did all these things to him. But here she was, supposedly sick, and the only way for her to get the treatment that she needed was for them to get married again so that he can put her on his insurance. But here's what I think. I think that was a lie, because he lied all the time. He lied all the time. God didn't call me to diminish who I am, to exalt anyone else other than him. And even my exaltation of the Lord doesn't diminish who I am in him. Me putting God up here on this pedestal where he belongs does not make me any less of a person. He doesn't say, okay, put me up here and then I'm going to stomp on you. That's not God. He is exalted and I'm still the apple of his eye. He is exalted and I'm still his beloved daughter. He is exalted and I'm still all of the things that he said I was even before he formed the earth, before the foundation of the world. I'm still all of those things. And I'm so very thankful that the Lord was able to show me that, right? It took a minute. It took 6 months too long. And here's the thing. I didn't feel at peace in my spirit until 7 days after the breakup. Why 7? 7 is because it's complete. It was OVA, over. It was over. You didn't have to worry about me one more time. And here's what he said as I was saying, well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Was my first experience of dating. I had never dated anybody. Even in that whole time I had been single, I had never dated. This was my first experience. And I thanked him for just being what he was. It taught me some things. It was very good. And he was like, well, maybe down the line. And I said immediately, never. Well, maybe down the line it'll work. Never. You would not catch me out twice. Oh, no. Oh, you played it. You tried it, but you won't catch Shakima out again. Here's the thing. What is a kingdom connection and what does it look like? Now, I'm not telling you it looks like Morris Chestnut. God knows I wish it looked like Morris Chestnut because, oh, Jesus. Right? I can't tell you what he looks like, she looks like. I can't tell you where they work. I can't tell you how much money they make. I can't tell you any of those types of things because we're looking at the wrong things in that regard. But I can tell you this. Amos 3:3 in the Message says, do two people walk hand in hand if they aren't going to the same place? Another translation says, how can two walk together lest they be agreed? How can two people walk together lest they be in agreement? A kingdom connection is in agreement with where we're going. Going back to the Duck Dynasty guy, we don't have nothing in common. But if we have the Lord in common, that's all that matters. That's the common bond. He becomes the center of both of our worlds. Like, I'm not trying to do anything else outside of what God has called me to do. This is what God has called me to do. Are you in support of me doing this? Well, no, you're going to have to stop doing that if we together, because I don't think women should preach. What? We are not the same. We are not the same. I met another guy. This was about a year, maybe a year after that. I don't know. It was after that. Lovely, lovely guy. And I've never met anybody that didn't have money. I've never met anybody that didn't have status. I've never met anybody that wasn't gainfully employed. Excellent human, as far as I could tell, as far as our communications. And it was very short because we need to get here quick, right? We don't need to be 6 months. That was 6 months too long. We need to get here very quickly. So we were chatting. I think it was over a 3 or 4 day period. And something said, share with him. I had done a teaching on Kingdom Connection. I shared with him the teaching. And the next time we talked, I could tell something was a little bit different. And he said, so are you like ordained as a pastor? I said, I am. He says, well, I don't believe that women can be ordained to be pastors. That's it. It's over. We are not the same. We are not going in the same direction. And for a brief moment, here's what I thought. Okay, Shakima, does the ordination matter? Maybe you don't need the paper. You can still preach and do what you want to do, and it's going to be okay. Maybe you can conform to who he is. And then I got within my right mind. That is not what God called me to do. This is what God called me to do, and he ordained me to do it. And the individual was like, well, we're supposed to meet. I don't know what to do. I said, we don't meet. That is the end. That is no hard feelings here. We haven't invested anything into one another. What we have done is figured out if we walking in the same direction, and we are not. So here's what we do. We don't meet. We talked, we chatted, we even FaceTimed and all that. And it was great. Perfect. Excellent, gentle person. I'm telling you, top-notch person. Would not say a bad thing against him. But them 3 or 4 days that we chatted, because we were going to meet shortly after that, told us all we needed to know. Told him, and it told me. He don't believe in women preachers. I'm a preacher. Not the same. And no time was wasted. No time was wasted. No lies were told because he spoke his truth. I don't believe women should preach. He even offered, can I just tell you? He even offered, he said, we can walk through the scripture together if you want to. What is the point? It's not going to change my mind and it ain't going to change yours. So let's just not and say we didn't and we can move on along. And it was a beautiful situation in the fact that he knew what he wanted and I knew what I wanted. I wanted somebody that was going to support me in what I was doing because I'm already shy about it as it is in certain instances. I didn't know how God could pick me. But now here you are saying you don't believe it. I'm not trying to work that out. God chose. He chose me and this is what I'm doing. So you either on board or you ain't. And we didn't lose any time. We didn't lose anything. We still are friends on social spaces. I'll like something he'll put, or he'll like something out. It's just a platonic situation. And the Lord blessed him with a wife. I am so thankful that happened. I was like, oh my gosh, congratulations. I love it for him. I love that for him. But if we had connected out of insecurity, out of loneliness, out of whatever else, except God bring the two together, we would have driven each other crazy. I would have probably begun to die inside because the gifting and the calling that God had placed on my life would not have been able to be used. I would not be doing what I'm doing right now. What I've learned from this experience is that kingdom connections are created between people walking together in the same direction, being led by the hand and the grace of God. Every connection, y'all write this down. Take this wherever you want to take it. Every connection is not a kingdom one. And no amount of begging, crying, or pleading is going to make it one. I got on my face and act a monkey fool over that last guy. And I said, Lord, make him, what in the world? Show him, open his eyes. I'm praying every prayer that there is to pray. I'm calling scripture. I'm speaking in tongues. I'm doing all of it because I need this man to see who I am. And it didn't change his mind. He still went back to the woman he said try to take all of his money. Well, guess what? I hope she got it. I hope she got it. Yes, I do. Is that mean? Is it wrong? It could be. But I sure hope she got it. I hope they both got what they wanted. I really, really do. Because I am happy in who I am. The Lord kept me from making the wrong choice to the wrong person and going down the wrong road because I know it would have probably driven me to drink. My God, from Zion, and I don't even drink. Thank the Lord that was not my portion. I'm going to move on. Okay. It honestly took about a year for the Lord to show me what he actually was. Because remember, when I first met him, I said I felt like I was home. He just felt like home to me. He was old school. He had that swag. It just felt like I was home. And about a year after that, the Lord said to me, but Shakima, nothing good ever happened to you at home. And I was like, oh, Lord. Wow, look at God. He'll bring that thing around to you when you're ready to hear it. Right? I wasn't ready to hear it before a year later. I needed time to get me together. It took about 7 days for me to just let that thing go. And it was fine after that. But I still needed a year to process how I had gotten myself into that situation, how I was willing to compromise, how I was willing to come down and not be who God had called me to be. And God said to me a year later, he said, but nothing good happened to you at home. So it doesn't matter how much at home he felt, nothing good came from home. And I was like, wow. The only thing we had in common was dysfunction. That was it. That was our common bond and link. My dysfunction trying to get him to recognize who I was, and his dysfunction into trying to fit me into whatever rotation he had going on. I don't even know where I was on his roster because I am 100% sure that there were multiples at one time. As soon as he found out, and here's what I think it's like, don't waste people's time. Just don't ghost me. Don't go away. Just tell me. I'm good with that. But immediately when he found out that I wasn't going to weekend, he was out. He was done. He was totally checked out. Well, that's the time that you say, hey, listen, it's just not going to work. I got some other things going on, or whatever the case is. Whatever you say, don't lie and don't ghost. Just say what it is, because we all grown around here. That would have saved me 5 months and 2 weeks of agonizing over how can I ever be good enough? Because I am good enough. Just I'm not supposed to be for you. Right? We laughed, we talked a lot, but we had nothing in common. There was always an unspoken competition led by him. Our spirituality and faith sounded the same, but there was no agreement on anything. None. How we raised children, not the same. Our stance on physical intimacy was different. How we believed in handling money, different. Our friend groups, different. I could list 1,000 things to show how different we were, but to what end? The premise of this text is not to talk bad about anybody, and I'm not talking bad about him. I think he has whatever qualities he has, and they're for the person that they're for. But it's simply to say, no amount of attraction, y'all write this down too. No amount of attraction will ever be enough to keep a relationship together without agreeing on some things. It's just not possible. And God being the principal thing. If we don't agree on God, if we don't agree on our faith, if we don't agree on our faith, then there is no way that we can agree on anything else. Nothing. Faith has to be the principal thing. For me, it may not be for you. You figure out what that principal thing is for you. And then when people are trying to come at you and that's not a principal agreement, then you'll know they're not for you. For me, it's Amos 3:3. How can two walk together lest they be in agreement? And if we are not in agreement, then we can't walk together. It is no need for you to waste my time or me to waste your time because I already know how this is going to end badly. It's going to end badly and quickly. For me, I told somebody after that experience, I said, the last man had 6 months, you got 6 weeks, and the next one gonna get 6 days. I am not wasting time. Time is the one only valuable commodity that I can't get back. And if you think, and anybody else thinks that I'm gonna be out here wasting my time with somebody's son, you have lost all your good mind. Please find it again. I'm not wasting time on somebody's son that don't have my best interest at heart, that is not trying to agree with me. And here's the thing. And most people will say, but that guy, he didn't agree on anything with his wife. Yes, but the principal thing was Jesus. As long as we agree on God, we good. He don't care what her Amazon bill is. He can pay it. He don't care nothing about that. How do I know that's going to bring agreement? Because God determines how we manage our money. God determines how we manage our children. God determines how we buy property. God determines how we deal with in-laws. God determines what friends we have. God, the principal thing, now that shifts and changes every decision or guides and governs every decision in our life. And that is the type of connection that I'm looking for. God determines my friends, my friendships. If you're married and you have friends that are hanging out all hours of the night and you married, oh, they single. You don't need to be hanging out with single people because single people are probably hanging out in places you don't need to be. Doing stuff you don't need to do. I got to go home. I got to go home to my bae. I got to go home to bae. Bae is her waiting for me. You want me to be out in these streets and he over there waiting for me? Oh, no, player. You got me wrong. God is going to determine, he's going to guide and govern your friendships. He's going to guide and govern how you speak. He's going to guide and govern again how you spend. He's going to guide and govern your intimacy. Well, I can't be with him tonight because you ain't never got a headache. I'll never have a headache because Jesus is a healer. Heal me, Lord. I'm feeling the pain, but my husband got needs. Heal me, Jesus. And I know that seems weird to some people, but it's not, because he is the principal center thing. And I'm telling y'all, you got to think about this thing real seriously. My only wish is that it hadn't taken me 6 months. I tried to end it early so that my feelings would not end up hurt, but he had to have his way in that too. 2 weeks. We went out on my birthday. When my birthday, that was the moment that he talked about the week. He called me on the way home. He was going home and I was coming home, and he called me and he was like, you got to let me know. That was the moment. It should have been all done. Because I had said to him on that moment, I'm not going out on a weekend with you. I'm a grown woman and I'm not doing that type of thing. And he said, you a grown cuss word woman and you mean to tell me you not going? And I'm not. Yes, I'm telling you. He couldn't believe it. He's like, you 40 some years old. And I am. And I'm still not doing it with you. and nobody else that ain't trying to be my husband. Because here's the truth of the matter, right? This is what we got to think about, ladies and germs, right? Ladies and gents, think about this. If every person you came into contact with that hasn't been your spouse up to now, if you weekend with every single person, you would have given yourself away how many times? How many? And he said to me, he said, so you mean to tell me that you think your husband is going to love you anymore because you haven't done X, Y, and Z? I said, I don't think he's going to love me anymore because I didn't do X, Y, and Z, but I hope he will appreciate my efforts. Because whatever I do before I meet him it's inconsequential to us. But I do hope that he would see that I was trying to be true to him and to us, even before he showed up. So am I going to do this with you? I'm not. Because here's the statistic. I don't think it's new. Right? When people talk about this body count stuff, they said depending on what a person tells you, that number, you got to automatically multiply that by 10. Now, I don't know who these people are and what kind of math they've been doing, but I can promise you that is not a correct number. It's just not. I met my ex-husband when I was 15. We started dating when I was 16. We were together until I was 33 years old, and I've not been together with anybody else, and I'm 49. So you tell me that I got to tell you this number, and you got to multiply that by 10, and that's how many people you are assigning to me, even though I know how many people have been assigned to me? Rude. Rude. So I'm not even trying to step off of how can we walk together lest we in agreement. Here's the truth. Whoever is in agreement with me is going to be in agreement that we not doing any of those types of things. Not pre-marriage, we ain't, but after marriage, all bets are off. Don't come over no time soon. Stay away for about a year because we finna do all the things. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, moving on. Looking back, as hindsight is always 2020, I won't make that same mistake again. Not me. I ask the Lord, give me eyes to see up front. And I pray this. I absolutely pray this. Lord, don't let me feel a type of way for somebody that I shouldn't. Lord, don't let me attach to somebody that I shouldn't. Lord, don't let me see the potential or the possibility into somebody that you did not send. Y'all think I'm playing. I'm not lying. I tell you, I pray that every single day because there are so many things that can come your way. They smell good. They look good, child. Honey, they be Marsh Chestnut impersonators. And your eye be changed and rolled over because it been 16 years. Lord, do not let me attach or form any attachments to anybody that you did not send in Jesus' name. And if I see something that looking good to me and I know it ain't good for me, guess what I'm going to do? Exit stage left, just like Joseph. Honey, he left the shirt and all and ran out the back door. You will not catch me out. Because it hurt too much. It hurt too much to connect yourself to somebody that's not for you. That's not about kingdom business. Well, is everything about the kingdom? It is. It ultimately is, because somebody's going to look at your example. Somebody's going to look at the way that you're doing life, and then they're going to either try to emulate it, or they're going to be like, you know what? She did this, so let me do this. I'm not about to be out here slipping and dipping and having people follow me, and then they slipping and dipping. Nope. I got to give an account to the Lord. Do I think my husband's going to love me anymore because I haven't slipped and dipped? I don't think he will. I think he's going to love me the way he loves me, but I sure hope he appreciates it. And I think he will. Thank you so much. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you so much. Can I help you understand? Let me tell you this. I'm for real. Okay. I say clearly now, know what you want, and more, know what you need. So no time is wasted. Time is the only commodity that you can't get back. It's better to get to know myself absent of someone, so that when I do find someone, no time is wasted in any minor details. It took me another 5 years to really get to know who Shakima is. And can I tell you, I know me so well right now that I am not going to be swayed, moved, or anything. I'm not going to be talked out of my underwear. I'm not going to be talked into a weekend. You ain't trying. Don't come over here smooth. Don't be smooth, because I already peeped smooth, honey. I already been there. I know that. Been there, done that. You can go somewhere else, because I'm not about to do it. Kingdom connections make your baby jump. This is the last thing I'm going to say. The thing that excites you, they make that thing exciting. They can get into it. They are like, you know what? Yes, 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 yes. They are just, yes, I'm here for it. Whatever you do, I love this for you. I love the way that you do this, blah, blah, blah. Kingdom connections get your creative juices flowing. They have each other's backs no matter what. Kingdom connections spur each other on to greatness. Girl, you're going to do it. You're going to be absolutely flawless. I know that your voice is going to be this. And honey, when you bring that word, it's going to be that. Oh, you teaching that lesson. Oh, they really going to connect to this. It is that constant spur of each other. Kingdom connections challenge each other to reach greatness no matter the cost to oneself for the greater good of the other one. Okay, you're doing this, fine. Let me help you. Let me pay for this. Let me sew into this. It's amazing. I can't even wait to experience what it's really going to be like. Kingdom connections pick each other up when they fall. They love just because, with no expectation of love in return. Kingdom connections don't compete with one another, but they see the best parts in one another and focus efforts in those areas. Here's the lesson learned. Everyone is not a kingdom connection, and I have to know the difference between them and everybody else. My prayer is always, Lord, help me find, no better yet, lead me to my kingdom connection, the one who wants the best for me and pulls out the best of me and will allow me to do the same for them. So before I leave you tonight, I want to ask you the same thing that I ask you every night, because again, this is the kingdom connection, right? Do you know him? Are you connected? Because it's not going to matter who you meet. It's not going to matter what you want. It's not going to matter who you think should be in your life if you're not connected, and they are. Last story, and I'm going to tell you this very quickly. I had someone call me it was a couple weeks ago, and they said, hey, I wanted to ask you something. And they said, hey, I like this girl. And I want to take her out, and I took her out. And so we were talking about, and she was talking about her church and her religion. Christian, but a different denomination than what this other person was. And they were asking me some questions, and how's this different than what we believe, and blah, 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 and all this stuff. And so then they said, well, I just don't know. And she even gave them a YouTube channel to go watch, and her pastor was speaking and all these things. And I said to this individual, I said, you have absolutely zero chance with this person if you don't have the same faith as her. She locked in. She is locked in to her faith. Now, she was willing to give you this one opportunity just to kind of see where your faith was. But if you think for one skinny minute that any amount of dinner you buy, any amount of ice cream you get, any amount of picnics you go on, any amount of hand holding you do is going to talk her off her faith, you are crazy. I said, it's not going to happen. I want it for you. I can understand how you want that as well. But if you don't share her faith, which is the chiefest, most important thing to this person, according to what you're telling me, you will not go out with, she will not be the one. She will not be the one. And that person was like, you probably right. No, I am right. Ain't no probably in this. I'm telling you, if the chiefest of things is not your faith that is in common with hers, she is done after this first date. That is the power of having a kingdom connection. You must have that as the chiefest, most central principle of your life, period. Or whatever it is for you. Because again, Amos 3:3, how can two walk together lest they agree? If you don't know the Lord, you can. See, the first kingdom connection must be with Jesus, who becomes the lover of your soul, before you can ever hope to find the love of your life. See, if you don't know the lover of your soul, you'll never recognize the love of your life. It's something about, it's going to be something. You're so welcome. It's going to be something when you come together intimately with your kingdom connection. Right? I'm talking about a husband and wife, not talking about working connections. I'm talking when you love God and they love God. Oh, honey. Oh, man. Can you imagine what that's going to be like? Because before you thought you was doing something with the people who just liked you. When they love God and you love God and they love you, child, listen, I already know what it's going to be. Again, like I said, don't come over for about a year. In the Bible, they put married couples away for a year. They paid all the bills so the married couples could be married. That's all I'm saying. So it is what it is. Don't come over. Don't come over We will be otherwise occupied. Period. Okay. Make knowing him the first gift you give them. What I have to give to you is my love for the Lord, because my love for the Lord is going to drive and guide my love for you. I know I plan to give my person that gift before I give them anything else. And I'm always praying for you. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing. I got 8,000 likes. Praise the Lord. I got so many shares. I saw people with the blue arrows. Other platforms, if you'll like and share as well, share it to your story. If you don't want to share it on your timeline, just share it to your story. That way other people will be able to click on it and then come to here and see the replay. I appreciate that. Just push us out into the algorithm. Join me tomorrow night when we're going to day 52, not losing this round. We're not losing this round, y'all. We've lost enough, but we ain't going to lose this next one. I love you guys. I'm going to see you the next time. Good night, y'all. Bye, everybody. Thank y'all so much for joining us. Good night, y'all. Bye, everybody. Love you guys.